afternoon, grade 10s. Today we will be looking at week 13's work and we will continue with lesson 3. We will cover the international and domestic airports in South Africa. We will cover our main rivers, our main dams and our main mountain ranges that we can find in South Africa. So let's have a look at our international airports. We are all very familiar with this first airport I'm going to mention, which is OR Tambo. OR Tambo can be found in Johannesburg, and it serves basically Pretoria and Johannesburg, and you can basically fly anywhere internationally from here. Our next one is Cape Town International Airport, located in Cape Town. Then we have the King Shaka Airport, located in Durban. We have the Nelspruit International Airport, which is very useful for people that want to fly directly to game parks that can be found in Mpumalanga. We have the Lanseria Airport, which is on the outer skirts of Johannesburg. We have the Pilanesberg International Airport, which is located more or less over there, and it serves tourists that want to go to places such as Sun City. And then the last one we are going to mention is the Polokwane International Airport, and these are only a few of our airports that are known as international airports. But we also have several other airports that we can look at. We have domestic airports in places such as, and I wrote it down here for you, such as Bloemfontein. So if you can find Bloemfontein, there's a domestic airport. East London, which is over there. George, where there's also airports, is along the coastal line on this side, over here. And then Kimberley, there's a domestic airport. Port Elizabeth, and also in Uppington. Alright, and these are only a few of our domestic airports that we can find in South Africa. The next thing we are going to look at is our harbours in South Africa. So our harbours is where ships come in, and this is a huge factor when it comes to the import of goods and the export of goods into South Africa and out of South Africa. We make use of our harbours a lot to get goods to other places. So you can find harbours in places such as Durban. Durban has a nice harbour. It's always nice to visit a harbour to see the big ships up close, which is quite exciting. There's a harbour in Cape Town. There's a harbour in Port Elizabeth, in Saldanha Bay, which is along the western coast. We have a harbour in Richards Bay. Then we have one in Ngwara, which is located just next to Port Elizabeth. Then we have one in Mossel Bay. I see I've circled Mossel Bay already. And then Knysna, which is along the coastline on this side. And then we have one in Simonstown. Simonstown is located just outside of Cape Town. And in Simonstown, it's quite a spectacular place to visit. This is the home of the South African Navy, so there's a lot of people in training. You'll see them swimming in the ocean, and there's also a really nice beach to visit called Boulders Beach, where you can see the penguins. So if you're ever in the area, have a look at Simonstown. There's a beautiful harbour to visit. Now, like I said, the harbours are very, very important for South Africa, is because we make use of these harbours to get the import and the export of goods from one place to the next. The next thing we are going to look at is our major mountain ranges in South Africa. Now, if you have visited one of these mountain ranges, you can count yourself extremely blessed, because it is quite spectacular to see these things. So our mountain ranges is a big drawing factor for tourists to our country, especially the Table Mountain range, which can be found in Cape Town. Table Mountain gets visited so often by tourists, and it has recently been named one of the wonders of the world, so it is quite something to see. Then we have the Cape Fold Mountains. The Cape Fold Mountains is a mountain range that runs along here. You'll see the blue section marked on the map. That is the Cape Fold Mountains. We have the Cederberg Mountains, which can be found over here. Then we have the Magaliesberg Mountains, which is found just outside of Pretoria and Johannesburg up here. And lastly, and the most beautiful to me, is the Drakensberg Mountains, and it can be found over here. The Drakensberg Mountains are extremely big. The Drakensberg Mountains runs here just beneath Lesotho over there. So it's quite something to see. And like I said, our mountains, our rivers, our waterfalls, there's so much to see in South Africa. The next one we are looking at is our main rivers in South Africa. Now there's only 4 of them. The first of which I want to highlight is the Orange River. So you can see the Orange River runs over here, and then it goes down. Here's more of the Orange River over here, and I'm sure you'll be able to spot somewhere else on the map where the Orange River will also run. So it goes all the way along here. Alright, and the Orange River is our longest river in South Africa. It rises in the Drakensberg Mountains in Lesotho, flowing westwards through South Africa to the Atlantic Ocean. So from the Drakensberg Mountains, this is where it starts, and it runs westwards all the way through into the Atlantic Ocean, which can be found over here. And that is our Orange River. This Orange River forms part of the international borders between South Africa and Namibia. You can see Namibia over here, and here's South Africa. So it is clearly a border between the two countries, and except for Appington, this is a provincial border over there. So if we look at the Orange River, it plays an important role in the South African economy by providing water for irrigation as well as hydroelectric power. So there's a lot of uses for large amounts of water, such as hydroelectric power, irrigation, and it can help communities along the way as a water source. The next river we are going to look at is the Vaal River. Now the Vaal River, let me get a different color, is the river over here, and the Vaal River runs through the Transvaal. So Joburg and Pretoria forms part of the Transvaal, so the Vaal River would be the closest to Joburg and Pretoria. If we look at another river, the Limpopo River obviously runs through Limpopo, or all along Limpopo up here. Remember, our province up here is called Limpopo. And then the Tugela River. The Tugela River is quite something to see, and it runs here from Lesotho, you can see, into the Indian Ocean over there. And these are only a few of our major big rivers in South Africa. On this map you can see several other rivers, and they all play an important role, but these are only some of our major rivers that we can have a look at. The next thing we are looking at is the major dams in South Africa. I'm going to circle where they can be found more or less. So the first dam we are going to look at is the Hartbeespoort Dam. So the Hartbeespoort Dam can be found in the Vaal section over here. It's in the Northwest Province, and it is quite close to travel to the Hartbeespoort Dam from Pretoria and Johannesburg. We have the Vaal Dam, which lies more or less over there. Then we have the Sterkfontein Dam that lies over here. We have the Geriep Dam, which lies over here. And then we have the Midmar Dam, which is very close to Durban. And it is well known to go and do the Midmar Mile, which is a swimming competition in the Midmar Dam. So all our dams, all our rivers, all our mountains, they all contribute to tourism in South Africa. It's important to know that we're learning these things, these features, because they play an important role in the tourism industry of South Africa. All right. And that is it for today. So we've looked at our rivers, our dams, our harbours, our mountains, and our airports. Very important to know how each one of these contribute to the tourism industry and how they help our economy in terms of the tourism industry.